Hi and welcome to this new Blender video. Today we'll talk about some basics like object mode, edit mode. We will talk also about some settings that you need to use when you are working in Blender, and then we will talk also about installing, adding add-ons to Blender. We will also create our first scene. So let's get started. As you see on my screen, we have a new Blender file as usual with a cube, camera and light. First, let's talk about the object mode. In the object mode, we can edit our objects. So we have this cube. I can scale, rotate and move my object. Let me first, I forgot to activate the screencast plugin to make you see what I'm clicking. So let's activate it. Now it's active. In object mode, as I mentioned, we can scale, move, rotate our objects. So let's rotate. So I'm rotating the whole object. G, I'm moving the whole object. And S, I'm scaling the whole object. As I mentioned in my last video, we can snap the object to the axis. For example, we can snap it to the y-axis when scaling by clicking on S and Y. So now it's going to scale on the y-axis, the whole object on the y-axis. We can also scale it on the x-axis by clicking on S and X. And we can do the same with moving and rotating. So you need always to remember the three shortcuts. S for scaling, G for grabbing, so it's the first letter of grabbing and moving the object, and R rotating. So you can rotate your object. Let's go back to the default, and you can do the same with the light. Just select it. It's not scaling because we can't scale the light, but we can use G and move it. And we can use R to rotate the light. In this case, it's not rotating because it's just a lamp, but we can change it to an area. And then when we press on R for rotating, it's rotating as you see on the screen. The camera, the same. We can scale it, we can move it, and we can rotate it. Now, this is the object mode. We can also in object mode change the shading. We can change them to the render preview or to the wire edge or to the solid mode. So the solid mode, it's gonna just show the object without the material, and in the render it's gonna show the material preview. Now let's move to the edit mode. In the edit mode, you need first to select an object, then go to edit mode. And in the edit mode, you can edit just the selected object. And in the edit mode, you can edit the mesh. So you can choose a vertex, for example, this one, and using G and moving it in any direction you want. You can also use the same shortcuts, G with Y to move it just in y-axis direction, or scale, but we can't scale a vertex. We can't scale one vertex, but we can scale two, as you see. And in the edit mode, we have the edge. We have here three options. We have the edge, vertex selection mode, edge selection mode, and surface or face selection mode. So if I'm gonna change to face selecting mode, so as you see, I'm selecting the face, the face, the face, and the face. And we can select all the connected faces by clicking on the side of the face with Alt. So Alt click on the edge of the face is going to select all the connected faces. For example, let's click on this face and then click on the side of it. It's going to select all the connected faces. And now let's go also to the edge mode. And in edge mode, we can select just an. Now I'm using Shift with the mouse wheel, clicked to move the whole 3D viewport and to center my cube. As you see, I'm now selecting edge. This is the edge selection mode. We can also select all connected edges by clicking on Alt. So it's not selecting because they are not connected, they are separated. And we can use Shift to select many edges or different edges. And it's still the same. We can scale them. We can move them and we can snap them to an axis, like for example, Z axis. So now we are scaling just in one direction. These are the most important things or fundamentals if you like modeling and if you want to pursue modeling. So understanding them is really crucial for your Blender, for improving your Blender skills. So now let's go back to object mode. And let's talk about deleting. So you can delete your objects. Sorry, let's go back to solid mode. You can delete your objects by selecting them and pressing on delete, or pressing on X. So X is gonna ask you if you want to delete, but delete is not gonna ask you. So you can choose one of them. And you can see I can select them all and press on delete. Now we deleted them all. Now let's add new object. To add new object, you need to press on Shift A. So Shift A is gonna bring this menu. And in this menu, there are different options. For now, you need just to concentrate on mesh. So this is the most important thing now. And under mesh, you will find different options. We need now a plane. So we have a plane. It's like a surface. And let me scale it. And you can scale by using the numpad. I'm going to press on 5, which means scaling it 5 times. Now we added an object, which is a plane. We scaled it 5 times by pressing on S, then number 5, and this is gonna be like the water area or the water in our scene. I'm gonna create like a landscape, just water with sun and sky. It's gonna be very simple, but it's gonna give you an idea on how to work in Blender. Now we need to add an HDR, and to add an HDR, I'm gonna use Blender Kit. And this is Blender Kit in the middle of my Blender. And let me show you how to install Blender Kit. Blender Kit is gonna make your life easy as a beginner because it's gonna offer you HDRs. It's gonna offer you some models and materials and a lot of stuff. Because at the beginning, it's really a lot to learn in Blender, and you will feel yourself overwhelmed with a lot of information, a lot of functionality that you don't know about, and you will be frustrated seeing other good, nice tutorials for people making amazing things, and you like spend hours, nights, days, and you can't produce anything good. So at the beginning, use it till you feel yourself comfortable, and I don't think you can really work or produce anything serious in Blender without using other plugins. So now let's get into installing it. You need to go to Blender Kit website, download Blender Kit. You need to create an account because creating an account is gonna give you some more privilege to install more material from Blender Kit. There is also a paid version, but for this tutorial, you need just the free one. You don't need to pay anything. Let's install it. Let me show you how. So as you see, I installed this zip file, and there is in the website kind of 10 seconds video explaining how to install, but I'm gonna show it to you, so no worries. Let's go back to Blender. Let's go to Edit, Preferences, and this tab is very important because under this tab you can customize the theme, you can customize the light, the viewport, interface. You can customize a lot of things in Blender under the Blender Preferences tab. But for installing the plugins, you need to go to add-ons. There are the official add-ons. There are a lot of official add-ons. They are installed and inside Blender, but they are not activated because they will make your Blender very slow. So you activate them when you need them. And to install a new one, you need to go to Install and then search for the file that you just installed. In our case, it's Blender Kit. I have it already. You just need to click on it, install add-on, and it's going to appear under the install add-on, and you need just to activate it. That's it. And later you need to log in your Blender Kit account. That's it. And you will have this tab in the middle. So after installing it, you need to press on the I button. So you will see, sorry, as you saw, my Blender file just crashed. Let me start it again. And as an advice, you need always to save your files. I have an extra plugin that is saving the files automatically every 1 minute or 2 minutes, I'm not sure. And if your Blender file just crashed and you don't know why, and you think that you lost your work, so you can go to recover and you can recover your last session. This is a good option. Now let's start over. I'm gonna leave the camera. I'm just gonna add again a new plane and scale it 5 times, and then add an HDR file. So it's this one. It has the same icon like in Blender, the word, and the HDR is gonna be our world background. So I'm just gonna use sunset. There are a lot of nice backgrounds, so I'm just gonna use this one. It needs some time to be installed. It's installed, but we can't see it. So why? Because we are in the solid mode, so we need to go to the render preview. So let me change to the render preview, and now we have our world background. So this is our background, and we can choose this one, for example, and you see we have a different world background. Yeah, we can choose any one from them. Now let's create some nice water material and add it to our surface. We can use Blender Kit and go to materials. This one, the icon is the same like the material in the properties sidebar, and we can just search for water. I forgot to press on enter. Now we have water. We have different water materials. We can choose, for example, this one. As you see, the water surface looks a bit weird because we need to apply the scale, and applying the scale will make our object have an accurate dimension. So now it's 5, and let's apply. Let's click on Control A. Sorry, I forgot to activate the screencasting. Let me activate it again. And to apply the scale, you need to select the object and click on Control A, and you will have a menu, and then choose scale. And after applying the scale, you can see the material looks a little bit better. So if you want now to render this image, you can just press on Control Alt 0. You see, this is my camera now. This is the camera view, and pressing on Control Alt view is going to snap your camera to the view. It's now a little bit on the right. It's not showing the sun, so we need to move it to make it show the sun. So let me rotate. Yeah, so rotate to the y-axis, just solve the problem. So we can now press on render, and as you see, we have our first scene in Blender. So using Blender Kit made it very easy, but we can also create the water material by ourselves. I think the video is now a bit long. Let's create materials in another video. If you have any question, please leave a comment and don't forget to like and subscribe.